Whatever the occasion, effortless elegance is right this way. Because Hilton brings you new ways to stay courtesy of the Nomad London. And it doesn't stop at award-winning dining in a space draped in velvet and illuminated by vintage chandeliers. No, this day goes beyond with unparalleled personalized service and attentive hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the Nomad London can be booked using your Hilton Honors points at Hilton.com? Hilton, for the stay.
After Zoomies at the dog park, it's time for Drive Up at Target. In goes a big bag of kibble and one squeaky chicken toy for the good boy. Drive Up that's ready when you are, only in the Target app. Just tap Target.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold! Give
it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, dear listener, from wherever you are listening to this show. Did you miss us? I don't think so. We are recording live this evening, and as usual, I have my co-host, the butthead to my Beavis. Rob, how are we?
Watcher, I'm good, thanks. It's been a summer. I was looking forward to summer off, and then you phoned me up.
Yeah. Do you want to get on the pod? I'm bored and I've had too much sugar and caffeine. Exactly. We need to do something. We are joined by Erith Town, new signing, as the graphic says, cracking graphic. It is goalkeeper Supremo, Harrison Firth. Harrison, how are we, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Happy to be here. Hope you're all well. Yourself?
Good. And you're actually one of these players who we don't have to twist their arm to get onto a podcast and say hello and talk to the fan base. So no, really appreciating having you on. So quick one. What have you been up to since the summer or during the summer?
Yeah, obviously not too much. Just a couple of holidays. Been France, been to Spain, going to Portugal in a couple of days. Yeah, just enjoying the time off. And to be honest, I'm looking forward to getting back now. I'm itching to get back.
Yeah,
getting a few stamps on the passport. I've just been quite a chill time off, a few holidays, and I'm looking forward to getting back. To be honest, now it's been a bit of a while. So yeah.
And if Adam Woodward or the owners listening, you've been having some summer fruits flavoured isotonic drinks, haven't you?
Yeah, no alcohol, staying off the alcohol. I've obviously been enjoying myself, and obviously when the time comes to get into pre-season, that's when sort of knuckle down and get to it.
Absolutely. Remember, listeners, talk to Frank. You can have one beer, you can have two, but don't have too many. Everything in moderation. But no, Harrison, we've got you on the show because obviously the fans have seen you a few times towards the end of the season, but now it's become more permanent. Let's just crack on. How did the move come about? I got the message from Adam that you've obviously you're committed to the club for next season. You had a great end to the season last year, where in truth, with all due respect to some players, goalkeeping was a little bit of an issue at Erith Town last season. How did it all come about? And
go through goalkeepers like Spinal Tap, go through drummers.
Go through the drummers, don't they? Yeah. Just every few weeks. No, but how did it all come about?
No, of course. So obviously, last year I was at Ebbsfleet, and I think one morning I just sort of got called in the office. Just said obviously there's been a loan opportunity become available Erith Town, and then obviously got put in touch with Woody, and from there was I think it was pretty much the Tuesday morning I got the message, and I think we had a game on the Tuesday evening. We played Eastbourne Town, I believe. So literally, I got the message Tuesday morning, said like it's all gone through registration and whatnot, and then straight into it, thrown in the deep end on the Tuesday night. But that was sort of how it went about. But yeah.
What was your first impressions? I mean, because with all due respect to Erith Town, it's a club in my opinion as well. Like 2 years inside, behind the scenes, years before I've been following. It's definitely a club on the rise, in my opinion. The way the attendances are growing, we're now in the Isthmian division, going to be for a second season next year. You're obviously a lot more in touch with the management team than we are when it comes to the visions and the goals. But What was your first thoughts when you first came in? You know, Eastbourne Town in the nicest way. I remember that game. Weren't one of the better ones.
Yeah, no, of course. Obviously, walked in and into the dressing room, saw the kit laid out, which was obviously always nice to see, and a big TV in the dressing room, which I didn't expect. But yeah, no, it was good. Good group of lads all welcomed me in very well. Obviously, spoke to Woody just obviously as I arrived, and he sort of introduced me to all the lads, and yeah, it was all quite smooth to be honest. It was I was very impressed.
So did Woody lay out expectations for you between sort of joining and the end of the season?
Nah, sort of just sort of said come in and show us what you can do, play well, and obviously I think by that time the club were safe, and it was just sort of look, let's try and get as good of a run as we can to the end of the season, and pushes the momentum into the next season. But yeah, no, it was like I said, it was all very smooth and all went really well.
And with those last few games, obviously we're talking about the first one you had there. I believe was it a 0-0? Was it or
What Eastbourne Town?
yeah?
No, I think no, we won 2-0 that game. Yeah.
Oh right, yes, yeah.
Right,
I know
yeah.
we went through a spate of midweeks where we had the odd
Yeah.
draw here and the odd win there and everything like that.
Yeah.
But how did the how did the rest of the campaign go for you personally? How did you feel you grew within the team and within the club, and what were your thoughts of it when the season ended?
Yeah, no, of course. I think it was 9 games I played in total. Started off well and then hit a couple of losses, a couple of defeats as you do, and it's. I thought we ended the season relatively okay, but I think obviously the target coming up from last season was probably to stay in the division, and obviously we did that quite comfortably, and that was sort of that was done before I sort of arrived, and then just sort of saw the end of the season out and tried to pick up as many points as we could, finish up as high as possible. But no, personally I thought like went really well for myself. It was good to get out and play, have a good run of games and sort of show what I can do and express myself, under a new management team amongst other lads and top players as well.
Yeah, and how does Thamesmead compare to Ebbsfleet?
Well, it's fair to say I should have bought a bucket and spade for the first game with the goalmouth. No, it's yeah, no. It was, at the end of the day, that's non-league. It's you've got to adapt to all sorts of challenges you're going to face. It's not every. I mean, not being funny, but that division, there's not many pitches where it is really good. But it's one of them things as a young lad myself. Learning my trade and playing on some half all right pitches and not all right pitches, but you sort of adapt to the challenge and do as well as you can.
I think the thing is as well, just to touch on that before we go on anything else. I mean, obviously that there's some teams who have got good social media presence and you watch their videos, and there's other sort of non-league teams around the boroughs and in different regions. I don't know about you, Harrison, but I think grass pitches last season took an absolute battering. Obviously compared to the 4G, which seems to be okay, but you'd see a lot of grass pitches not in the best of shape. So it wasn't just a Thamesmead thing.
Oh no, definitely not. Yeah, no, it wasn't just a Thamesmead thing at all. I think obviously the weather weren't great last year, but no, for me personally, I always do prefer playing on grass anyway. I think it's more enjoyable for me as a keeper. I do prefer it than 4G, but yeah, no, it's just like I say, it's just one of those things. It's not the worst pitch you're ever going to play on. It's not, like I say, the best pitch, but it's just something you adapt to and you get on with it. There's no point making excuses about it. You just move on from it.
When you came in, and one of the key things I always think with a keeper is how well they work with their back four and the relationship they build up with the central defenders. So, how did you feel you got on, like when you first joined, and then how it kind of moved on as the few games of the season progressed? How did you get on with that relationship with the defence?
Yeah, really well. I think obviously coming in, I knew JJ anyway at the back, so obviously it was good to see him and a familiar face. But I thought, I got on really well with not only just the defence, the whole team, and
so building that rapport in terms of like who's going to come, who's going to go, calling for the ball, making sure they're not in your way, you're not in their way, that kind of stuff. Do you think that?
Yeah, no,
that comes about easily, or do you think that's something that's going to get better as this next season rolls on?
Yeah, no, of course. Is obviously, like you say, the more you play with someone, the better you get to know them, and whatnot. I think one of my key attributes is communication anyway, and I think I sort of like cemented that as soon as I came in. And I think the lads like felt quite confident with me behind them, and always talking, keeping in contact with them, telling them they've got a man on their shoulder, or if I'm coming, that I'm going to come and make sure I get there, or if it's not, to tell them away. But yeah, no, I think it's important also to have a good relationship off the pitch with your defence, and like I say, how each other's work and how you communicate with each other.
So JJ normally buys a round after a pub. You talk in the
Well,
you talk about a good relationship.
I haven't had one off him yet, so I'll have to chase him up on that actually for next season. Yeah, in the first game.
Yeah. So talking looking to next season now. Obviously, you're saying about your pre-season, and then we ended the season. And I think, to be fair, Harrison, I think you've sort of undersold yourself a bit there, mate. Because I think when you come in, we still weren't mathematically safe, and
Right, okay, yeah.
like even though we've ended up pretty well. How the season went, and I'll be honest with you, Rob will tell you from the first game of the season, we were like, look, we don't even mind if we're one goal above that dotted line at the end of the season. We want to stand at this level, and when we did quite comfortably in the end. So I think, yeah, like I say, you've undersold yourself because we was in a bit of a bad run. Goalkeepers were a little bit hit and miss in the nicest way. We had some good ones come in, and for some reasons it may not have worked, but that's in the past now. That's gone on. Look into next season. There's some big teams who have come up. Big teams have gone down. Some of us have got to fly to Jersey sometime during the season as well. Harrison, you can sit next to me if you want. I'll make sure I don't have that much sugar and caffeine. But
trouble is, we're going to Jersey in December or January or something.
On a Tuesday.
There's no way we're going in August.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be a cold Tuesday night, yeah.
Yeah, and then depending on how it goes, we'll have to walk home. Yeah, but it's but what made you decide to sign or join and commit to next season?
Obviously, I spoke to Woody throughout the off season, and obviously coming in, I think it was really good for me. Like I said, playing a run of games, and I think the main thing for me now at my age, I need to get out there, show what I can do, and Erith just felt right. I mean, what I felt like me and Woody worked really well together, and obviously all the other management staff worked really well. And I think one of the main things for me was the lads. We had it's a very social group. We do a lot of team socials outside of the football, and it felt like really good. And obviously I spoke to a few of the lads in the off season, and obviously the main core of the group has been kept together, obviously, as I've seen from the signings. So yeah, it just felt really good for me to come in and solidify my place, and like I say, get 40, 50 games under my belt next season and see where it takes us.
Yeah, and what do you hope to? I mean, you're just saying there about playing more football and all that kind of stuff, exactly. But as a team, what do you hope to achieve? Is it another year of, in the nicest way, consolidate, make sure we don't go down, or do you know what? If we actually get a decent run, we could be there or thereabouts.
Yeah, no, obviously I don't want to say too much on aims and whatnot, but I think definitely to build on last season and go one step further, and push on as far up as the tables we can go. And coming in the season, you never know where it might take you. Hopefully, being in and around the playoff spots, but yeah, definitely to improve on last season and use it as a stepping stone to hopefully go one further.
Yeah,
I think the other thing as well, like with the season coming up, is that we've done it once. We know what the travelling is going to be like. We know what the schedule is going to be like, and it like I think towards the tail end of last season, it started to feel like it was a bit tough because there's some long old journeys from Thamesmead to the south coast and stuff. So.
And that's just been in a car with you and Brian.
Exactly. So it's a bit less. It's going to be a bit less strange next time round, and I think people will be a bit more prepared for it.
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously being in the league now for a season and knowing where you're going to go, what surroundings you're going to be at, and it always helps to like I say, you've solidified our spot in the league and go there next season, and what you're going to expect and what you're going to get, sort of thing.
Yeah, one thing I will ask as well. I'm not sure how often you played for Ebbsfleet or what levels when you were there, but how have you found the Isthmian League? Because we had a guest on one of our preview shows a little while ago who questioned the level of the southeast compared to like the north and the south, and we obviously from an Erith Town point of view compared it to Skeffel, and we honestly think, yes, okay, maybe the bottom of the table may not be absolutely brilliant with all due respect, but I still think most of the teams at the bottom half, bottom six of the Isthmian League would probably do incredibly well in like Skeffels, combined counties, all that kind of stuff. How have you found this league overall? Because we think, don't we, Rob? We always say it's a very 90-minute game. Whereas the year before last in Skeffel, if it was 0-0 against certain teams in 70 minutes, it would end 0-0. You could quite easily go home. But, we found a few times we do concede late or we do score late. How have you found it, having to stay switched on for 95, 96, 97 minutes?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, previously I have played in the Ishmael and South Central for Chipstead, but obviously coming over to the Southeast, I think the standard is very good, and I feel like in the league that anyone can take points off anyone. I think if you turn up on the day and you are as good as you can be, I think you can go and pick up points off some of the big boys. And obviously on the flip side of that, you've always got to be switched on if you're playing teams towards the bottom. But no, like I say, I think like in the day, if you want it more than your opponent, which I think we always do, then you can, like I say, take points off anyone in that league.
And we'll get it all wrapped up now because I know Rob's desperate to watch some international football.
Senegal, mate, you can't beat them.
Can't beat them. Well, let's hope they're England or whatever it is tonight. But how have you found? Not you said about the first team, the management team. But how did you find like the fans go down there? Because down at Erith when you joined, and were they a reason why you decided to stay as well? Because we feel that obviously when it goes right down there, it's one of the best atmospheres. I mean, obviously you could talk about Ramsgate and Margate where they get the hundreds and the thousands, but how have atmospheres been on like big game days for you down at Erith? And like I say, is the way the club's growing something you wanted to be a part of, and one of the reasons why you signed?
Yeah, no, of course. Obviously, I see last season the success in the winning the cups and the season before last winning the cups and obviously getting promoted. Obviously, see the videos and stuff like that, and I thought like, yeah, it's definitely a good fan base, and coming and playing in front of the fans. I've really enjoyed it. It's definitely probably one of the reasons I've joined, and I did enjoy it last season, and I thought for the level the club's at, I thought it's do get good attendances, and the atmospheres can be good down there. Yeah,
and the podcast.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%.
Pat yourself on the back, Michael. Yeah. But I was saying, Rob, is there anything you wanted to add before we let Harrison get back to what he was doing?
No, just it was nice to see you come in. Nice to see you do well. I'm looking forward to next season.
Yeah, and
thank you.
And is there anything you want to say to supporters, listeners of the podcast? A message to encourage those to get down and watch you? How many penalties are you going to save for them?
No, of course, yeah. No, obviously looking really forward to next season, and I think after the season we've just had, I think it could definitely be a very successful season and look to build on last year's positive year, and look forward to seeing everyone down at the ground next year.
Lovely stuff. Brilliant. Well, thank you very much, Harrison, for your time. Rob, I will let you get back to your football as well. I will see you tomorrow down at the ground because we've got some bits and pieces we need to do. For those who are listening to us now, we bid you farewell. Robert, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from him.
Au revoir. Up the Dockers.
Up the Lions of Taranga.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.